as I say, oh, I can't even hear myself. I'm sure you guys can hear me though. Let me just make sure I do hear myself. There you go. As I say, every single Monday morning, even on a Tuesday, as I'm reading DMs on the Celly, 'tis a vibe. What is up, nerds? It's me, your buddy Paul Harricher. Welcome back to Nerdy Coffee here on Nerd Affiliated. I was just about to be on time. But alas, I had a coffee malfunction, and I went into the kitchen, and coffee was just pouring all over the place. So I had to address that. But I'm here. We made it. We're here together for another fun, exciting episode of Hey Archer. Another fun, exciting episode of Nerdy Coffee. I'm all thrown off. I am all thrown off. This is your normally Monday morning, but I'll say it's your weekly. No, it's a Tuesday, but it's normally your weekly Monday morning nerd support group. We sit back, relax, enjoy a nice hot cup of brew. As you can see, it's poured over sides. And we talk about the news. Anything interesting happened last week? Anything at all? Let me know. But if you have a YouTube channel, podcast, blog, vlog, OnlyFans, newsletter, smoke signals, whatever it may be, put it in the chat. Support one another. Plug yo shits. Plug yo shits. But I'm happy to be here with all of you today. Rocking a new shirt, courtesy of the Buffalo Ghostbusters. Shout out to them, and shout out to Dave's Dimension. Well, I was actually reading his DMs right now. He sent me some, looks like variant posters for the new movie, but I won't share them on screen yet in case anybody's not trying to go into the movie with any spoilers. Not necessarily spoilers, but like some people like going into movies blind. Like Lenny, for example. Shout out to For Those Good Tastes. Lenny loves going into movies without seeing the trailers or anything. So I won't show the posters here, but maybe on social media later on. But yeah, I feel like not much happened last week. It was a pretty boring week. I don't think there's really any news to talk about, right? No toy company news, no Marvel news, right? Well, I try to think of some stuff to talk about. I'll say hi to everybody in the chat. Steve in the house, good to see ya. Aaron Waller in the house, good to see ya. Let me X out of that just so I can stay on track here. Rolando in the house, good to see ya. D3 was fourth. There you go. LeBron, good to see ya. Rolando saying hi to everybody. LeBron saying he really likes my shirt. Kenobi hit me in the DMs there. I'll talk about something that he and I are talking about right now. Yeah, like I said, courtesy to go the team over at Ghostbusters Buffalo Ghostbusters. It's funny, when I first saw the logo, one, I like that it's in the style of the new movie, you know, with the blacked out type of logo here, but it also has a buffalo wing in the ghost hand. I didn't realize it at first when I first saw the logo, and then I was like, nice. I like that. Also got some stickers. So I got the Buffalo, New York logo there. And I got their Ghost Core Engineer styled sticker, which I really like. So there you go. New logos for the movie. Also behind me, as an update, working on the pack there. So if you're listening to the audio only, I just did a lean back so everybody could see the progress. But yeah, it's fun. It's a fun project that we're working on there. I have to say, this is the longest I've gone on a single like aspect of a cosplay before. Like I've spent a couple days priming, taping stuff off, letting it sit, come back the next day, prime some more, go back over holidays, as they call it in the military, like blank spots. Going back over it. I'm going to sand it a little bit. Normally, I'm just like running gun. I'm like, paint stuff, whatever, F it, keep going, letting it sit, letting it marinate, and then we'll continue with the build. So there'll be some videos. I've documented some stuff. But I don't know about you guys. I'm at this weird moment in this creator space where like sometimes I don't want to record. I just want to like work on the project or do something without thinking how can I record this for content. Like I'm at that moment right now. And this Proton Pack has like shown that to me. Like I set up the camera for the unboxing. I set up the camera for comparisons between this and the Spirit 80% pack. I said everything. But when it came to like priming, I was like, I just want to kind of sit here, listen to like a video essay or listen to one of you guys to listen to a toy hunt and just kind of just paint. So let me know if you feel that way from time to time when it comes to creating. Kathy in the house, good to see you. Yukon Phil in the house. LeBron said Kang got in trouble. Oh, yeah, that little thing, yeah. T3. So T3 hit me in the DMs the other day with this one. Warner Brothers, 68%. I think you mean chance that they're going to go bankrupt. I'm waiting for a couple places to verify. Not anybody in particular, but a couple spots to just like verify that before I go all in on the conversation there. K-Walk says, LeBron Fett, my brother contends RDJ was nothing but trouble, but Marvel kept him. Yeah. Marvel on this one, I think, well, we'll talk about it. Yeah, actually, I was going to make that point. It was before Iron Man, not during Iron Man. Collecting with Cool, good to see ya. He says, on a work break. Damn, you start work early. What's up, everybody? He also says, sometimes I rather stream so I don't have to edit. Yeah, that's true. My lens broke, so I can't record for a minute. Damn, sorry to hear that, man. Kathy says, I hate editing. Yeah. I feel that way sometimes. It's a love-hate. Paxmas in the house. Good to see you. How you doing? It's been a while. Dave loves the shirt. Oh, sorry. It's a pretty dope shirt. Yeah, so we have a good amount to discuss today. Because it's Tuesday, my work schedule is a little different, so I might be able to do some OT with all of you without having to rush at the end, but we'll see. We will see. But yeah, there's been... Last week, we end the show, and was it Tuesday? Yeah. We end the show, and normally what happens is I have my notes on my phone. End the show. It's time to delete the notes for the different topics or the different sections, and then start writing out new notes as the week goes on for what we're going to talk about next week. And Tuesday, I believe, is when I woke up and I was in bed, and all of a sudden we had the 2-in-the-box HasLab backed from Hasbro. So I was like, all right, getting rid of some of the old notes, creating some new notes to talk about how successful it was and what I think could be the future for HasLabs. And all of a sudden, Hasbro makes the news, but for doing layoffs. And I was like, what the hell? So I start writing in on my notepad, like points I want to talk about. And then like an hour later, they drop in, they're doing a collab with McFarlane. So now I'm adding in more notes. And I'm like, this whole episode's going to be about Hasbro. And I don't think it's enough time to go into the details like I really want to. Ergo, I made the video last week that has been performing pretty well, I have to say. And if you've not had a chance to, I would not just encourage, but will love it if you checked it out. So over on the page, sorry I didn't get a chance to make a thumbnail today. Ran out of time, but I have a theory, and that is that Hasbro is exiting the action figure game. So that is the video I made on Tuesday based off the news that we saw. And I still think the theory will hold true. So check out the video. Let me know what you think. Check out all the other videos, of course. And let's dive into it. Let's dive into it a little bit. So actually, let me switch something. I completely forgot to bring up this talking point for today. Let me see here. Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Here we go. So sorry, I got distracted for a second. I apologize. We'll start with Hasbro. We'll just, since we're already talking about them, we'll go in with it. So since the initial announcement of layoffs, we in those couple days we didn't know what that really entailed. They just said they're laying off 1,100 people. Some people found out right away. Some people will find out over time. But we didn't get too many details. But what we talk about in that video, what we kind of assume, and based on their earnings call, the last one, which the next one's going to be wild, but in the last one, they were noting that all of the big profits, all the big success came from the digital front, came from the card-based front, Dungeons & Dragons, Baldur's Gate, that kind of content. So I assumed, and I'm sure many people assumed, a lot of the layoffs coming down the pipe for Hasbro were going to be on the toy side, maybe marketing, but aimed at the toy stuff, advertising, everything R&D, but toy related. But since then, it turns out that's not the case. The layoffs are truly going to be spread out. But the weird part is this article comes out, and it's referenced in a couple different websites, but we're over at Game Rant here. Baldurs Gate 3 Studio CEO comments on Hasbro layoffs. The CEO of Larian Studios, I'm probably saying that wrong, comments on the recent Hasbro layoffs when thanking all the people who made the existence of Baldur's Gate possible. I'm missing part of it. Baldur's Gate 3 possible. Sorry about that. So they recently revealed that almost all the people who were in the original meeting when Baldur's Gate 3 was approved are no longer working at Wizards of the Coast after recent layoffs. Considering how positive Baldur's Gate 3 reviews were, this is very sad for Dungeons & Dragons fans. For a second, I thought these llamas were humping each other because I could only see like their heads doing this. I was like, are we about to get pulled on YouTube because there's like llama lovemaking happening on the screen right now? Oh, God. Continuing on. I would love to see the captions of that later on. Baldur's Gate 3 was one of the biggest hits of 2023, surprising even its creators with so many glowing reviews and high player count. The game managed to snatch many prizes at the Game Awards 2023. Baldur's Gate 3 won Game of the Year award, as well as 4 other prizes, including Best RPG and Multiplayer. Skipping down a bit, they commented on them being the CEO on the recent Hasbro layoffs, in which over 1,000 people were fired, including employees from Wizards of the Coast, which manages Dungeons & Dragons brand. Vinky said he was sorry to learn that almost everyone who was in the original meeting that greenlit Baldur's Gate 3 has left the company by now. That is insanity to me. That's insanity. I don't understand what Chris Cox, I believe is the CEO's name. Just make sure. Yep. I don't understand. I feel like these are not the best pictures. I'm gonna be blacklisted from Hasbro. I know it. I know it. Damn it. But I gotta give you guys the news. I have to talk about it. But I mean, come on, he looks like a scumbag. I don't know the guy. Or as the joke runs with Brendan Schaub, great guy. Never met him. I don't know I don't know what either he's doing, he's deciding, or what he's green lighting from the people underneath him. This could also very well be the board making decisions, just so everybody knows. Like the CEO is the one who is the first to take the award and the first to take the L in any company. But we do have to remember that there is a strong chance that the board makes decisions and he's just like, I mean, he answers to them. So yeah, whatever you guys want, I'll do it. There's a chance that he lets the people underneath him, the different C-suite people, there's a chance that he lets them make a decision and he's like, I'll trust you on your decision. But at the end of the day, he's still going to be the face of this. Good to see you, Passiano. I think this is your first time on the show. It's an unfortunate name. Yeah. He looks like a Law and Order villain. He does. He does. And yeah, he's not taking an L financially. The CEOs never do. They never do. So you see this and you're like, all right, of all the teams, why is this one taking the biggest hit if this is your biggest success? So I said it before, I'll say it again. When it comes to the toy space, McFarlane, Super 7, and Hasbro. Mattel, not so much from what I've seen, but those three, I would love to see how is this all working. Like enough of this stuff, enough of the decisions and the collaborations. I'm like, who's profiting here and who's making the money other than the CEO? Because some of these just don't make sense. I don't watch enough Archer. Sorry. No, that's fine. That is fine. But you're right. If he's fired, he'll just be hired as CEO somewhere else. That's how that works. That's how that works. I need Star Wars team should take a hit. Hot take, I know. Oh, do you think that they should take a hit? Now, this is where I'm indifferent when it comes to the individual teams. When it comes to Star Wars and Marvel, we always have to remember that there's a Disney tax with everything. Now, it's up to them to make everything still work for us in spite of the Disney tax. So that's where I think they have a lot of work to do on those respective teams. But we have to keep that in mind. It's different than G.I. Joe, Power Rangers, Transformers, because those are licenses owned by Hasbro. So I'm not sure. However, the Star Wars team don't do themselves any favors by not doing more live streams, doing more Q&As, doing more fan meetup stuff. Like, they don't do anything. The only teams you see out there, Marvel, sometimes G.I. Joe. There's some overlap with G.I. Joe and Transformers. That one girl works for both of them. And then G.I. Joe comes out when it's necessary, but every time they come out, it's a successful, hey guys, we're here, FYI, blank. So Marvel does the most, Transformers does a lot, Power Rangers, non-existent, and Star Wars especially, non-existent, and that should not be a thing. That should not be a thing. But rolling into yesterday, again, we begin last week with Hasbro being praised for the HasLab. We roll into the day after that. Hasbro is ridiculed for the layoff news. Roll into yesterday, and a bunch of us get this email. Sorry, K-Walk says, dang, I can't believe my job wants me to work during Nerdy Coffee. Sheesh. Love that. At least Bandai still makes Gunpla. There you go. That's true. It's true. Everybody, make sure you hit the like button, by the way, if you've not done so. Yesterday, we get this email from Hasbro, and it's out of left field. It is completely out of left field. We're celebrating Hasbro's 100th by making a charitable donation to Hasbro Children's Hospital. That's a hospital? And cracking open the Hasbro vault. Sorry, I need some water. Sorry about that. For a limited time only, Hasbro Pulse is offering a chance to purchase previous HasLab product by opening its reserve vault exclusively for Hasbro Pulse members. Now, I got this email yesterday at 11:32. Scroll down. They said this is running from yesterday noon to today noon. Limited, one per SKU, very limited quantities available in the smallest print. While supplies last, get ready to snag exclusive access to very limited quantities of select fan favorite HasLabs from the past. Act fast, the HasLab Vault only opens for a limited time, beginning today, December 18th. I saw this and freaked. I freaked for a number of reasons. One, talking about decisions, why would you open the vault to your most expensive product the week before Christmas? This should be, and by the way, randomly they announced it's the 100th. Like I don't remember them mentioning it's their 100th anywhere else. Like if this is your 100th, why not like build up to it? Have a rollout. Hey guys, FYI, the biggest releases ever this year is our 100th anniversary. It's like they just remembered, oh shit, it's our 100th. So I was heated yesterday because I'm like, are you really about to drop the Proton Pack, Galactus, Sentinels? Are you about to drop all of those for a 24-hour span the week before Christmas? And alas, they did. They made some drops, apparently, at noon. So my dumbass is 11:59 hits. I'm hitting refresh on the app. Force closing the app, refreshing. 12 p.m. hits. I'm refreshing. I'm looking here. I'm like, all right, is there, a new tile? Is there a new tile up here? Where is this member exclusive HasLab relaunch thing? What's for sale? Nothing. I'm hitting refresh. I go down to the HasLab button. All the same stuff. What's in production, past. I'm clicking on stuff, doesn't say I can buy it. Refresh. Nothing happened. So then I finally go back to the email and I click don't miss out. And now there's this whole new section, not linked anywhere else, for the HasLab Vault. And at the time of opening it yesterday, the only things that were not marked sold out were these two Hero Quest games and the Sky Striker. Everything else was sold out. At this point in time, it is probably 12:03, 12:02. By the time I realize, let me click their link to see if it takes me somewhere else, because why would you do that? So being that it was only like 12:02, 12:03, and I saw the sold out buttons, because they manage the website so poorly, there are times where you can click a sold out item and it's not sold out anymore. Like it's not sold out there. And there's reverse. I'm actually see if, are my favorites on here? They're not. I'm going to pull it up on the app real quick. Hang on. Because you always got to remember, it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. And there's an update. Update required. All right. Let's see that real quick. But a lot of times, too, there's the reverse issue. Oh, that was a fast update. What did you even update? All right, loading. Click on favorites. All right. So right now I'm in my favorites, right? We have cell shaded Spider-Man. Sorry, it's like because of the glare. Probably two of the most sought after there. The Cobra Commander, like Emperor Cobra or whatever, and then that Daredevil 3-pack, right? They're just there with pricing. If I click on Daredevil, sold out. That's what that red marker is at the bottom. But on the previous screen, it shows like it's in stock. So that happens all the time. So when I click on it, I'm like, all right, maybe they just haven't like unlocked it yet, because that's a thing. Sometimes it takes a while for them to hit the go live and all that stuff. Nothing. So it turns out, in speaking with General Kenobi, it turns out that the Proton Pack was for sale. It was actually available, of which case it makes me believe that the Victory Saber was available and the Unicron was available at one point. But again, how many possible items were there that at a $400 price point, you sold out in a minute or 2 minutes? Makes zero sense. Makes absolutely zero sense. Let me see if I can find this real quick. So then I'm perusing Instagram, trying to find like anybody who's even confirmed that those were for sale, talked about any part of it. And then Mr. Steve, again, as I mentioned before, works over on the Marvel side of things. I hate this. I absolutely hate this. He says here, he reminds everybody 24 hours, a chance to pick up the stuff, like somebody had them push this out. Like they have followers, like they know that there's members of the team that the toy community looks at. So they got the asset, they had the whole, essay thing here. And then exclamation, and the important aspect of this is that there are limited capitalized quantities, like seriously limited, certainly not enough to devalue the original release. Personally, I would rather see the remaining few items in the hands of the fans than collecting dust in our warehouse. I hope some of you find something you need, but be quick. Lance Peter here. This is a great idea at the wrong time, Christmas, when we shouldn't be spending on ourselves. Although I bought a year Pulse membership to get free shipping on the Ghost back in September. So now I have a second chance at Jabba's sail barge or the Razor Crest. No answer there. Good. Now all the scalpers with their AI bots got more things to sell 3 times the price. I don't know if that happened, but maybe. Mickey House, things were sold out before you even posted. Hasbro announced this a mere 10 minutes before the link went live. This feels like a very last minute decision was made to do this. Goofy and contradictory to fans come first. I mean, none of those people are wrong. None of those people are wrong. And I ended up posting afterwards because I was pumped. I was pumped and angry because, like I said, week before Christmas, you're giving people a chance because you don't tell us what it is. Like, you didn't say what the items were, but you're giving your fan base the chance to maybe pick up things that they had FOMO on or have FOMO on right now. Like, there's definitely people out there who, after the Ghost finished, they were like, damn, wish I got that. Or hell, now that the Hiss Tank reviews are dropping, they're like, man, if Hasbro released a Hiss Tank again, I'm in. I'm in. So you make an email like this, you give people that hope that things are going to happen for them. They won't have to play scalpers, and then completely F them. Completely F them. So I wrote yesterday, I'm not sure what that was all about. Feels like Hasbro was trolling for no reason. If so little items were available, just donate them. Another wild idea is gift them to your staff. Maybe do a donation raffle. Winners pick up the items. Because I'm thinking this was a liquidating type thing. They're just like, all right, we're clearing out the offices. Hey, anything you think that can sell, let's make an excuse to put it on the website. We'll sell it. And they're like, all right, well, we only got 2 Proton packs. Great. Put them up, say that we're doing a limited time 100th anniversary sale. It's dumb. That is dumb. Like, you're really stupid. You're really stupid. And what I hate about this whole thing is, and the reason I'm so passionate about it, you know that some of us really want this stuff. And I hate to sound whiny about it, but we have to understand that we're not just talking about like a standard $20 toy. Like, you're really catering your items to the hardcore fan base of various franchises. People are already disenfranchised with you as a brand because of some of the prices you're doing, which at times can feel like price gouging. People are disenfranchised because you're laying off tons of people while having a somewhat successful year, because apparently CEOs are still getting their guap. And we're disenfranchised because we're paying for pre-orders. Those pre-orders are ending up in stores before the pre-orders in hand. And then not even 2 months later, the item you just spent a new higher price on is $5 at Ross. So at some point, we need some sort of marketing, like, good gesture. Like, Hasbro needs something right now that makes people say, hey, you know what? I like that brand. I like what they stand for. I like what they do for us. I'm going to continue to support. Really need that. And stuff like this is why a lot of us are actually starting to not even continue the journey in toy hunting, in toy collecting. Like, we're being super selective. Super selective. This is why. Would I have bought the Proton Pack? As they used to say in the commercials, the world may never know. Because maybe it would have been on the fly. But at the very least, if you want to crowd control, if you want to change the narrative off of last week's news, hey guys, to T3's point there, hey guys, guess what? We just found 2 Proton Packs. We found a Unicron. We found a Sky Striker. They probably had 3 of them. And we want you to have them. But tis the season Or tis the reason for the season. Is that the saying? So here's what we're going to do. And you'll make your money back. You'll make your money back on it. But what we want to do is we want to give you the chance to access the vault, get these HasLabs, $10 donation to sponsor the HasLab Hospital, Children's Hospital Fund. $10 donation gets you a raffle to win one of these HasLabs. You can buy a $10 raffle for the Proton Pack. You can buy a $10 raffle for the Sky Striker, for each individual one. You can buy as many as you want. All of the money we get will go to the Children's Hospital. But if you really want to get your guap, Hasbro, if you really want to get your money, the raffle ticket gives you the opportunity to buy the HasLab at cost. Spend $10, donate $10. If we pick you, you can buy the Proton Pack for costs of $400. And because you're a Hasbro Pulse member, as always, the shipping is free. People like Hasbro once again. People like, I wish I won. I wish I won the tickets, but I'm glad I could donate $10. I feel good that they gave me a chance. I feel good I donated to a charity. Hasbro's all right. Can't do it. They couldn't do it. It was too hard. It was too hard. So there we are. It's I know I went off the edge there a little bit, but I'm not sorry about it. I'm not sorry about it because we spend a lot of our hard-earned money on this stuff, And at the very least, it'd be nice to know that there are companies that you're spending your hard-earned money on, and they can do good things from time to time. Like, it'd be nice to feel that way. And, you know, for some, like for example, Cliff Burton here, Super 7. I'm so excited to open this. I am so excited to open this figure. I could have filled up my gas tank for the cost of this figure at the end of the day. Actually, this figure costs more than it would be to fill up my gas tank. At the very least, I'd like to know that if I'm going to spend that money on an item that does no good to anybody else outside of my room, at the very least, it'd be nice to know they can do nice things from time to time. This wasn't a knock on Super 7. That was just the example I had in hand's reach. So, there you go. There's my Hasbro rant for today. LeBron says, and we don't even know if the Lightning Collection is coming back. It's not. T3 says they produce extras for QC issues, so I'm assuming that's why they had the extra one. Yeah, of course. They had extras for QC issues, broken, miscount, all sorts of things. But even, like, give it out to your staff. Like, you just sent these people packing. Hey, guys, sorry about all that. We're going to do a raffle, give away some stuff in the warehouse as we break stuff down. Any of you want to put your name in? It's free. Merry Christmas. Can't do it. At least they treat their anniversary as bad as they did Power Rangers, yeah. Loyal subjects are awesome, too, yeah. All right. Continuing. Last week, we also learned that E3, the gaming convention, has closed its doors. It's a wrap. It's official. E3 is dead. The long-running Electronics Entertainment Expo has faced numerous challenges over the last several years. And after a failed attempt to revive it once again this year, its parent company has confirmed that it is ending the gaming showcase. This comes via GameSpot. I always used to get that confused. I ended up sharing that as well. I can't apparently click that because I'm not logged in. This is long overdue, but it is bittersweet. Children of this channel, there was a time in our lives where you couldn't just load up your phone because you didn't have one, or load up the computer and watch the trailer to the new video game. You couldn't watch gameplay. You couldn't do any of that stuff. The only option you had was, if you wanted video game information, was magazines such as Game Informer. Nintendo, was it a Nintendo one? I can't remember. There's a Nintendo one. There was a PlayStation one. The PlayStation magazine used to come with a disc. It cost you more than a regular magazine, but it would always come with a disc with demos on it. You may ask, what's a demo? A demo is a small piece of a game that you can play before the game actually fully releases. So you get the magazine, put that demo disc in your PlayStation, see what's on there. And sometimes you're playing that demo 50 times, 100 times, because you're so hyped for that video game, but you have to wait for the game to come out. The other way that you found out about upcoming releases and news was G4 TV's coverage of E3. And that was a big deal. G4 used to do like a whole week thing highlighting all the cosplay, all the reveals. They probably had some awards too for video game coverage at E3. I remember running home from school. Everybody did. Everybody rushed home from school. You got to get home in time for G4's coverage of E3. And then over the years, they started doing, tips and tricks magazines and stuff. Over the years, they'd be like, all right, Wednesday is the Sony showcase. Thursday, the Xbox showcase or the Microsoft showcase. Friday, the Nintendo showcase. Like every studio was in on it. They were in on the build-up, and they knew the hype was real. But a man once said, the times, they were changing. And there was one year where Sony, I think it was Sony first, they said, you know what? We're going to not go to E3 this year, but we're renting out this theater across the street. If you want to, to me, that was the beginning of the end. That was the death note. In case you don't know, when you are a vendor, big company, and you go to an expo like this, you got to pay for it. You got to pay for the booth. You got to pay people to stand there. You got to pay people to set it up, to break it down, to do interviews. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. And as time went on, these companies realized, hashtag because of the internet, we could do this on our own. Hell, we could do this not even in person. We could literally use YouTube, Facebook, Instagram Live, do our own reveals, do our own showcase, and not spend any of the money to send people, set things up, break them down. And more importantly, I don't have to pay this random company money to show off my stuff. Similar to me to the fall of the movie theaters. Prior to that, the fall of Blockbuster. But you don't have to spend that money anymore. You don't have to spend it. So while I'm sad E3's gone in concept and there's many fond memories, it makes sense. It absolutely makes sense why it's gone. I think the roadmap all leads to just Comic-Cons being where people do premieres, and that's if they choose to. If they choose to. People still, or I say people, these companies, they still do their own showcases around the Comic-Con, but sometimes not at it. I don't remember which studio it was, but if you were at New York Comic-Con one year, there was like a Walking Dead premiere, but outside it was like down the street at like Hammerstein Ballroom, I think. And then there was like another panel discussion thing at a whole nother theater in the city, not tied to the convention. So companies are realizing, all right, fans still like to gather, they still like to cosplay, they still love to spend money, but we don't have to pay the overlord of some company to have the honor of showcasing. We can do it alongside, and it's fine. I don't know if it changes going forward. Like, I don't know if in the future, you know, the whole Fortnite thing becomes more of a thing where they, you know, celebrity cameos in Fortnite, something debuts in Fortnite. I don't know if that augmented reality thing is the future. But for now, a convention like this, it's done. And I wouldn't be surprised if PAX eventually goes this way too. But RIP. RIP. Continuing, our boy Jonathan Majors. Jonathan Majors. There's a lot to unpack here. This may merit its own video, to be honest. But Jonathan Majors was convicted on, was it 2 counts of assault? And following the guilty verdict, I do not want to pay. Following the guilty verdict, Marvel parted ways with Jonathan Majors. Now, this is interesting. And to K-Walk's point earlier, if this was anybody else, and you know what I mean, would they still have parted ways? Don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if the current failures of the MCU as we know it are tied to this, where they're like, hey, you know what? All the Kang related stuff is not performing. Like, how are we going to course correct this? Hey, you know what? We just found our out. We'll just say, because of his charges, we can't be tied to that. We're out. That is completely possible to me. I would not put it past them. The jury acquitted Mr. Majors on 2 accounts that had required prosecutors to show up that he had acted with intent. One of assault and one of harassment. But the jurors found Mr. Majors guilty on the 2 other charges after more than 5 hours of deliberation. When you watch the video, the one that came out, it shows that there was a commotion in the vehicle, and the vehicle came to a halt, and then eventually he books it out of there. Whatever's happening, they get into a little scuffle thing. He's like, I'm out. Get off me. I'm out. There are far worse videos out there of actors, actresses being involved in situations where the verdict is not nearly as bad. Not nearly as bad. So take that as you choose. There's another thing out there that has floated around for quite a long time. By a long time, I mean like 2 years. It's that Jonathan Majors is difficult to work with behind the scenes. People have alluded to it. People have talked about it. There's been different YouTube channels that have talked about it. Is it true? I have no idea. But again, they could have used this as their reason to be like, hey, you know what? We're good. We're all set. We're all set. MCU's screwed either way. The MCU's screwed either way. Anybody talking about, oh, this changes things. How are they going to... No. They were already trying to figure out how to change things. This didn't change any of those plans. It didn't change any of those plans. MCU is going to get rebooted. It has to at this point. It has to. I don't know what they do to fix all this stuff, but they need to just reboot it. They really do. T3 says, I think we're coming up on the age where a lot of what we enjoyed as kids, teens, are going the way of the buffalo. I'm talking about E3. I give Best Buy another 5 years before that's obsolete. Interesting. Patrick says, so I guess then the follow-up review is the assault case against her. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. In related news, did you see how good Michael B. Jordan drives? I did. I don't think they said yet if that was under the influence. So that's also why I didn't talk about it, because I was like, oh, I'm waiting to see where that goes. But yeah, Michael B. Jordan had a little spin out in his car. So I don't know. Interesting developments. I think it's not as black and white as he assaulted her, was found guilty, and got fired. I think there's more to it when it comes to Marvel deciding to split ways with him. But that's my speculation. I don't know how true it is. We'll see. All right, let's see. Did I hit up? All right, we'll go into box office. There's one other thing I want to talk about if there's time at the end. So I think we're doing pretty good on time. So let's do some box office recap before we continue. As a quick, I haven't done the segment in a while, but like what I'm watching. The new season of Reacher is out. I'm enjoying it. Definitely check it out. We have What If Season 2 is dropping this week. So we'll stay tuned for that and see how that goes. And we got a release date for Halo Season 2. That is February 18th. T3 says, I have some information on this. Disney waited to let him go because of the shitstorm they caused when firing Johnny Depp before the trial. Yeah, I believe that. It's more, yeah, there's definitely more to it than just an allegation. That's for sure. All right. So heading over the box office mojo, last week's big release was Wonka, pulling in $39 million. Wonka's budget allegedly was $125. So as of now, following the rule of two, we are down. We'll round it up 100 million. I kept saying thousand. I'm sorry. Down 100 million. So costs 125, pulled in 40, but that's just domestic. Worldwide, it pulled in 152 million. Huge success internationally, which is a shocker. Good morning, Scooby. Good to see you. Sorry, I had a notification. Huge shocker there. Rounding out the top five, way below that. 5.8 for Hunger Games. Then we had The Boy, Godzilla, and Trolls. Interesting part about the Wonka thing is there were some articles like, Wonka shows that theaters are still alive. And that continues to be a narrative being pushed that is just absolutely false. For a 40 mil open used to be like, like you barely got there, but maybe we can get some traction. Going over here, like, going to domestic opens, it's good on the year, but far from, if I go back to 2019, 2018, yeah, you're in Meg territory. Interesting that Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, 35 mil open. Nobody knew what to expect of that movie, and then it came out hard. Pause. But it's gonna follow suit. 39 mil, and next week it's down to 5, maybe 10. That's as far as it goes. As far as it goes. But are you guys interested in seeing that, or are we still on the Godzilla kick? I feel like Godzilla is what people are talking about, what they really want to see. Not Wonka. Especially not before Christmas. I don't think that's the thing. All right, I'll go to the last fun thought I had. Kenobi about it. Talking to some others about it. Sal, Anthony. Where? Oh, I closed out all my windows. Where are you at? Here we go. Boom. One of my favorite things over the last year has been Star Wars Theory's new story arc of turning fandom menace. It has been quite entertaining for me to watch. He made this. Obviously, he knows what he's doing here. Like it's called Star Grift. Like he's not delusional to how it's going to be perceived. That he keeps doing streams with Mauler, who I enjoy Mauler, by the way. Enjoy Mauler, enjoy Robot Head. It's kind of the end of where my fandom menace enjoyment is. But Star Wars Theory is really leaning into this whole, like, he hates Disney Star Wars. After quite a long time of enjoying Disney Star Wars. Now, I'm not going to say that he, absolutely loved Disney Star Wars. That's not the case. There are plenty of videos that he had released where he'd watch something, he was kind of like, meh about it, but still like kind of liked it. He'd still say he enjoyed it. But it's like he's taken off the gloves and he's kind of like, now he's just going to shit on it every week. It's kind of weird. Kind of weird to me. I can't tell if this is a bot. I'm pretty sure this is a bot. Was good. What you gonna do if you got at 50 followers? You gonna do a giveaway? You missed it. We're at 1,500. Sorry, Playboy. I've been enjoying it though. I've been enjoying it. Star Wars Theory. He also, like, for some odd reason, seems miserable doing streams. Like it feels like a new thing. It feels like a new thing. Like whenever I'm watching, which is rare these days, but whenever I'm watching Theory, he's kind of just like scrolling, and then it's like a comment like, "Do you think the Zilla Beast will return for season 3?" I don't know. It might. It was dumb to even show that. Are you excited for the Rey movie? Disney with the who wanted this? Who wanted this? Like that's what the streams look like these days. I'm like, do you even want to be here? Do you even want to be here? I think you do, but I don't feel it. And now that he's doing the Mauler thing, I don't know. It's funny. To me, it's funny. It's funny. I'm wondering if he'll lose any fans. I doubt that many because he's at 3 million. Like once you cross that million mark on YouTube, like you're not really losing. You're not losing enough fans to like change anything. You're proceeding as usual, business as usual. You change up how you want to do your content, all that stuff. You're good. But I'm curious to see how he either gains or loses favor with the Star Wars community on the side of people who like still like the new content that used to use him as a a reference. Like, oh, I referenced Star Wars Theory's opinion on this or Star Wars Theory's explanation on that. Like, I wonder if he's going to get excommunicado from that. Or if his channel blows up because negativity is what sells these days. Hell, the Hasbro videos, the negative ones are what people watch the most. I get it. So maybe Star Wars Theory was like, hey, I'm not gaining a lot of new subscribers, and people who hate Star Wars are. So I'm gonna say F it. I still think the most suspicious thing was if you watch his reactions to Ahsoka, he didn't visibly like it or like episodes, but would still give them decent scores. That same with Andor. Like he talks about Andor saying how it's a great show, but would fall asleep watching the show. Not like in a, you put on Friends at night, you put on Seinfeld at night, fall asleep. Like in a legit, he's watching the premiere and he's falling asleep because, Andor's boring. But I'll give it an 8 out of 10. I don't know. LeBron says he prefers Star Wars Explained. I gotta check him out. Yukon says that's disappointing to hear. I used to love his reaction videos. Yeah. Enthusiastic Star Wars Theory was great. Him getting in trouble for making the fan film, I think helped blow him up a lot because it was like, here it is. Disney's going at one of us. One of us who's trying to make the franchise better and do something for the fans. Like Disney's choosing to attack him. Like that's crazy. It's crazy. But now as we proceed with him, I'm curious to see if he starts hating the prequels. That's going to be the real shocker. If at some point he goes so deep into the wormhole of Phantom Menace that they convince him that the prequels suck. And he's like, yeah, Phantom Menace ain't that good. Curious. LeBron says back before he did the face reveal, he was my favorite. Star Wars Theory or Explained? I don't know. Let me look up Star Wars Explained. Star Wars Explained. 798K. Canon timeline. Oh, okay. I think I've watched his videos before. Oh, interesting. YouTube. I noticed it on my page earlier, and I didn't know if that was just because it was my own page, but it has a For You section, like videos they think you probably would watch. I wonder if that's just a renamed like top videos, but they filter it for like the last year or something. Yeah, I'll check it out. But you know what? I'm not going to lie. Disney has also drained my love for Star Wars a bit, so I'm not in the mood for Star Wars. Star Wars, Marvel. It's like, man. Echo comes out. I hope Echo's good. But am I excited for it? No. DC? Nothing. I was watching a DC cartoon, Justice League War World, and I'm like 15 minutes in, and I'm like, what happened to you guys? What happened to you, DC? Like, the DC cartoons used to be far superior to Marvel Cinematic. Like, as far as, like, the amount of hits versus misses. Not all of them, but the hits versus misses. Oh, he's just saying hi. Like, that's what we do usually in live streams. We'll just, like, type somebody's name out. Instead of just saying, like, hey, what's up? You just type their name. So that's all he's saying. But the DC movies used to be, like, so good. So good. And watching War Worlds this week, I was just like, why? I didn't even finish it. It's like we talked about the other night. We need something new and original. Yeah. All right. Well, that's a show. We only went 10 minutes over, which is good. And next week is Christmas. I'm going to try my best to still stream. I'm going to try my best to do a Christmas stream. So stay tuned for that. If I don't talk to you, though, I'm hoping that, first of all, I am like way behind on member exclusive streams for the channel membership. So going into the new year, I do want that to be more regular. The format for the member only streams was going to be the whole group, but trying to get all of us down at one time is hard. We'll start doing streams, member only podcast that are live, and then the recording goes out for everybody else afterwards. So that'll be over at nerdaffiliated.com in the channel memberships page. Again, membership's only $1. Appreciate the support. But we owe you guys some content, so I'm going to do that for you. I'm hoping next week I think I talked about it with you, Phil. I'm hoping next week to do a top things I enjoyed about this year, similar to what Tested does with Adam Savage. They do like their top 5 things, which are like a movie, like a tool, maybe an action figure. So I'm thinking about doing something like that for next week. I'll see if the guys want to jump in on that. Pisano, to your question, yeah, this is normally every Monday morning show. I'm not sure if that was a complete sentence. This is normally an every Monday morning show at 9 a.m., but had to go to work early yesterday, so I couldn't do it. But there's 2 shows live every week. Nerdy Coffee. I might as well just do the plugs. I might as well just do the plugs as we end the show. Nerdy Coffee every Monday morning here on Nerd Affiliated, 9 a.m. Eastern. But every Thursday, 8:15-ish p.m. here on Nerd Affiliated, you have Hey Archer Live. 2 different shows, 2 different vibes. Either way, you're stuck with this guy. Let me know what you thought about all the news today. Let me know if Hasbro can be saved. I didn't intend for that to rhyme, but #bars. Support your friends. Hit like, hit subscribe. And I'll talk to all you nerds in the next video, which will definitely be before Christmas. If I don't see you before Christmas, Merry Christmas. I love you all. But peace. I'm out of here.